than 5,000 ships visit Australia each year in international trade. They carry 98% of Australia's imports and exports. It is important that these vessels operate safely and do not damage our marine environment. While responsibility for the safety and operation of each vessel lies with ship owners and flag states, Port State Control, or PSC, is designed to ensure safety and environmental standards are maintained. In Australia, the Australian Maritime Safety Authority, AMSA, conducts PSC inspections in accordance with international guidelines. AMSA conducts over 3,000 PSC inspections each year in 70 ports around Australia. Inspectors are guided by international convention requirements and resolutions of the International Maritime Organisation and the International Labour Organisation. The purpose of this video is to familiarise ship owners, operators and crew with Australia's Port State Control requirements. Every year, around 200 unsafe vessels are detained by AMSA until safety breaches are fixed, an expensive and time-consuming exercise for ship owners. AMSA's data show that certain items of equipment or general areas of safety on board are consistently responsible for a vessel's detention. These items will be highlighted with this symbol over the course of this video. This video will also show photographs of vessel defects. These images are from AMSA's archives and are not from vessels that assisted in the filming of this video. AMSA publishes detention information, including the deficiencies responsible for the detention, every month on its website. AMSA also publishes annual PSC reports, which provide detailed data and analysis. All parties involved in ship management, operation and ownership who have a responsibility for the safety of the crew, given, even if the defects have not yet been reported to the flag state or recognised organisation. Prior to this, all masters and operators should be aware of the legal reporting requirements of sections 185 and 186 of the Navigation Act 2012. In the meeting with the master, the inspector will also verify that the ship carries the necessary valid certificates and documentation. This forms part of the initial inspection. When undertaking the inspection, an inspector will use a Ship Inspection Record, or SIR book, whether in hard copy or on a laptop. The Ship Inspection Record book contains guidelines and all relevant forms and is used by all AMSA inspectors, ensuring there is a consistent approach to inspections across Australia. These guidelines and lists are not exhaustive, but are intended to provide the basis for an initial inspection sufficient to identify potentially unseaworthy and substandard vessels. While the inspector is checking the vessel's documentation and certificates, the master would typically arrange for requested items of equipment to be ready for inspection and testing during the physical inspection of the vessel. Once the initial meeting with the master has concluded, the inspector will check areas critical to the safe operation of the ship in order to ascertain whether the vessel is in compliance with its certificates and to assess the overall conditions of the ship, its equipment and its crew. The AMSA inspectors use their professional judgment in conducting the inspection, determining the extent of inspection and the action required in response to identified deficiencies. In cases where clear grounds exist to do so, the inspector may conduct a more detailed inspection. Depending on the circumstances, this may be limited to a particular aspect of the ship or equipment, or, in some cases, may involve more extensive expansion of the inspection. For all inspections, a Form A is completed to indicate that an inspection has been carried out. When deficiencies are noted, a Form B is also completed. AMSA is concerned that human error caused by fatigue has contributed to safety incidents in Australian waters. Port State Control inspections incorporate checks for compliance with the hours of rest requirements of the International Convention on Standards of Training, Certification and Watchkeeping 78/95, as well as the Maritime Labour Convention 2006. Inspectors will check the records of hours of rest and work and may examine other evidence, such as logbooks, including cargo and other operational records, and speak with watchkeepers during the inspection. If hours of rest are not in accordance with the STCW Convention, AMSA will require corrective action and may consider detaining the vessel. Inspectors will check whether the ship is using the current charts and other navigational publications appropriate for its voyages, whether appropriate navigational and operational records are maintained, and whether bridge equipment is operating satisfactorily. Wheelhouse visibility also needs to be checked. The onboard radio equipment is vital for a vessel's safety. It allows the vessel to communicate in an emergency and receive navigational and safety messages or other vessels' calls of distress. AMSA inspectors will routinely request a test of the GMDSS installation. This may be the MFHF, Inmarsat, DSC as appropriate, and VHF systems. The arrangement for provision of a secondary source of power to the radio installation is also part of this test, as it has been the cause of increased detentions in recent years. The 406 MHz EPIRB is also vital for emergency distress signalling. Inspectors will check the condition of masts, antennas, ventilation closures, compasses, and other equipment fitted or stowed outside the wheelhouse.